Again, good evening. Thank you for joining us at the Zoom video guest speaker series at Only Friends School. My name is Anne Marie Tabor, class of 1979 and Development Director Librarian here at Olney. With us this evening, we have a 2013 graduate of Only Friends School who has gone on to get degrees in art and technology from Allegheny College and a master's in animation from DePaul. Since then, she has been employed as a career counselor, all at the same time while running her own small business as an artist. And she's going to talk today to us about our creative process. And I would like to welcome Halie Gary, or Halie G.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Roger. Oh my God, it's so good to see you. Hi, thank you all for having me here. I am very honored and blessed to be here back with my only family. I hope everybody is doing well. I know COVID was a bit of a turning point, but I'm glad to see that everybody is here. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to first off say a big thank you to Anne Marie for contacting me and giving me the opportunity to talk to you all today about my weird artistic career that I'm going through right now. And I am just grateful for every last one of you being here. So claps to you all. I know it's the end of the day on Friday, so I'm going to try and be as less of boring as possible. And I'm not quite sure, Anne Marie, if we talked about questions, but if you guys have any questions as I'm going through, or if you would rather hold them until the end, that's totally okay. I want to make sure that we have enough time to answer any questions you guys have. Okay?
That's great.
So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all. Anne Marie, were you able to give me access?
I just did make you the co-host. That should do it, but just in case it didn't, I'm going to make you the, there you go. It's working now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and I will see. Alrighty, so I'm going to be talking to you guys about 3 different weird career paths that I am doing currently at one time. So during the day, I am a career coach for the city of Detroit. So I help a lot of different individuals obtain their GED. We help them get employment and move forward in their lives with their career path. So that's what I do during the day. Once I am coming home from work, I am working as a commercial artist. So I am, hi Jamie, I'm so sorry. I see Jamie. Hi Jamie. As a commercial artist, that means that I am giving people the opportunity to work with me for their small businesses, podcasts, or even just basic art that they want around their houses. I'm going to go over that process as well. And then how I became a small business owner. So I'm going to be going through 3 different types of jobs that I do. And I'm going to first off start off with all the influences. Let's see here. So first off, as a kid, you know, we are always given different toys, different books, different things that our parents enjoyed as kids, and they kind of passed it down to us. So of course, for me, I'm a big nerd. My mom is relatively younger. I was with her watching Gem and the Holograms or watching the original Transformers from the 70s and the 80s. And just growing to love different types of Disney films, getting into the inspiration of anime. So I'm pretty sure some of these pictures you guys recognize. And it's just the ability to turn on a TV and look at the screen and just say, wow, this is something totally different. You know, when you're a kid, a lot of times things aren't really explained to you in a way as a career. You know, you see musicians, you see different actors, and no one really knows how to step into that career path. And so for me, I always wondered, I don't know if this is really art. I don't know what these types of animation really are, but I know I want to do it. And so one day, I want to say I was maybe in fifth, sixth grade, I was reading a comic book and I decided to try and copy exactly what I saw. And this was the result. Now, as an adult, I look at this and I go, oh no, the proportions are all off. Eyes are slanted and there's no color. And I lost so much detail. But for me being, you know, in middle school, I thought, wow, somebody should give me an award. This is amazing. Make me famous now. So from this point, it just ended up happening where a lot of relatives of mine noticed that I was into art, and they would give me books on how to draw a circle, or I would watch different films where it was talking about the legacy of Disney, or at the time Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, and how these simple animations just become something that's so detrimental to a lot of kids growing up, myself included. And so from the middle school is where I started my journey, my educational journey. So fun fact for all of my Only Friends family, I actually started in middle school at a Quaker school here in Detroit. It was called Friends School in Detroit. It's no longer here, but it's still in my heart. And a big thank you to Mary Ellen and Micah. They both came to my school and they kind of sold me on Oni instantly. I visited the campus twice and I knew I had to go to Oni. Once I graduated from Oni, I went to Allegheny College, which is funny because I was able to tour Allegheny as a junior. I'm not quite sure if you guys still have your junior trips where you visit the college campuses, but I know for my class, we went to the University of Penn in Pittsburgh, and we also went to Allegheny College. And that was another school that gave me such a homely vibe. It was small. We knew everyone, faculty, students. Shout out to my president Mullen. We all just got along really well, and I was able to keep that only legacy with me. And from Allegheny, I went straight to DePaul, no breaks. I just said I might as well go straight through. And that's where I got really into the digital art world for learning how to do animation. So what I wanted to share with you all is just the different art inspirations and pieces that I did throughout my educational history that led to what I do now. So we're definitely going to talk about the art styles. So I am known, and a lot of people who know me, I have touched a lot of different mediums of art throughout my educational history. So I've done a little bit of darkroom prints, of doing black and white photos with film. I have touched inking and printmaking, graphite, charcoal. I've touched a little bit of everything. And so that's why I always tell people when they ask me, what is your favorite medium or what type of artist are you? It's always so hard for me to explain the type of artist I am. Once I get an idea, I kind of just take off, regardless of whether or not I know how to use that medium. Okay, so high school only, Friends School. Love you guys. I'm so happy to be here. So a lot of my art influences at Oni were mostly performance. I was always hosting the talent show, or I was performing in our Spanish presentations of singing, or the Grady Fair was a really big one that I put a lot of effort and time into. Or as you can see, our friend Roger in my You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown picture that I have, it was always just performing. I always took pride in poetry slam or presenting on a specific topic for classes. I was very theatrical. A lot of people call me animated because I'm just so energetic. But I can say one thing about Oni is that every 4 years that I attended, I created a Graddy box. And that includes my senior year creating Graddy boxes for my fellow students. And so one of the Graddy boxes that I remember to a T to this day, and I'm so glad I found a picture. It's on the right-hand side. A big thank you to Vig and to Jerry King. This was one of the hardest pieces I had to do. It's made with woodworking, wood burning, as well as glass. So this was something that was out of the blue. I told Vic, I said, I love wood, but I want to add something different. I want to add something complicated that no one else has really done for a Graddy box. And we were talking and talking, and he said, well, why don't we consider glass? And I said, wow, that is amazing. But where would I get glass from? And Jerry was kind enough to drive me to a glass blowing shop in Wheeling. And we were able to just buy little scraps and little pieces. And I was able to just make it happen. And so this really started my journey of just wondering, what can I do? What things can I touch? What mediums can I put together to make them work? Now we're going to talk about college. So college, I definitely can say I went over the top. I have a lot of pieces that were huge. I have a lot of wall art that is just literally the size of a wall. But I can say my medium became more focused and representation of who I am as an African-American woman, being able to explore different pieces of my culture, of my background, as well as exploring cultures of my friends around me. I am very blessed to have a lot of friends that, are from outside of the US of A. So it's very interesting to chat with them and to learn different things about what they deal with in their culture and what it was like moving to the States and all the different changes that they have to do. So some of these pieces you see in front of you, they're all different mediums. So I have at the bottom right, a huge graphite piece. It's a good, I want to say 8 by 24 feet tall. It's really big. It's big as a wall. I was literally stationed in the hallway at my college just trying to get a ladder and to do this piece. And it's one of my favorite pieces, mainly because it's a representation of me and some of my other friends. I had a group of, there was 4 of us at the time. One was Hispanic, one was from China, then myself, and then one was American Indian. She grew up on a reservation. And so this piece was something that I wanted to give back to our friendship. We're all still great friends. A big congratulations to one of my friends, Raven. She just had a baby, so I'm an auntie. But it was just a really big step for me to push myself to do something that big. As an artist, you think smaller, you think handheld, you think, okay, something that's easy to keep for a very long time. But this piece really showed me that I had a voice as a woman, as a friend, as someone who has had an interesting education and been able to learn from so many people, so many backgrounds. And that piece is what led me to my top left corner piece, which is, yes, a hat, and it's made out of hair, and it was my hair that I wore, and it was for my junior final presentation project. It actually was featured in an art show my junior year as well. And what came about this piece was, in class, we were talking about different things that are appropriate in the workforce. So we know in some company, braids are not considered appropriate, or dreadlocks, or colored hair, or curly hair. And so I remember one of my classmates, she made a comment, and she was saying that her hair is not an accessory. It's not something that can be taken off at the end of the day. It's something that represents her as a whole. And so I wanted to switch that idea and say, well, what if I made an accessory made out of hair to kind of battle and combat that mirror of just seeing who an individual is and just judging them based off of what they think they're able and capable to do. And so to this day, that's a piece that a lot of my classmates in college, even my old professors and advisors, would refer people to me and say, teach people how you did that hat. How did it happen? But literally, it was just a lot of braiding and weaving in my dorm room late at night. It's all solid. It's not hollow at all. So it's very heavy. A lot of people in the art show was able to pick it up and try to put it on, and each one of them were just, oh, this is so heavy. But that also was able to speak to the burden that a lot of people of color deal with in terms of how they're represented in the workforce. And that piece in my junior year led me to my biggest project I have ever done. This was for my senior year. So, at ONI, we have the Grady Fair and we have the Grady essay, and you have this one topic that you write about research, and then you present it at the end of the year. College, the same thing. For Allegheny, it's called a comp. So as an art major, I had to spend 6 months just writing, formulating what needed to be said, explaining the history and everything that was going on for the project. And for the rest of the school year, I had to physically create it. So this piece is called Monuments of Good Hair. And it took me a very long time to kind of put everything together. And it's based on that idea, once again, of the history of Black women and their hair. And so if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, that's the best wide picture I could find. It's of 4 different combs through history and Black history, and it's made out of MDF. If you don't know what MDF is, it's a very cheap type of wood that's easily cut into and stained. And so you have 4 different types of combs. You have the single tooth, the wide tooth, the hot comb, and the Afro pick. And each comb has a stand on it that has a mannequin head, and each of the mannequin heads have a different color that pertain to the skin tone of African Americans. So you have a darker brown with a red undertone, and then you have a lighter brown with a blue or an orange undertone. So in each comb, yeah, I know you see the hair. That was also hair that I had collected. I saved a lot of hair from my different hairstyles throughout the year, and I was able to weave them through all the teeth of the combs. Each comb is, I believe, 8 to 9 feet tall. So they were very big and very heavy to try to move. And I wanted to elevate the combs as if to put them on a pedestal and to give them that monument feel of you just walking up and looking up at these combs. On the base of the platform, there is shredded up hair to kind of make a gravel pathway to keep everyone off of it. While there is a wonderfully long canvas piece right in front that has Adinkra symbols listed. Now, Adinkra symbols are a part of Ghanaian culture. Shout out to one of my best friends. He's from Ghana. He helped me a lot on this project. And each one of these symbols, they were hand stitched and woven into the canvas with yarn. And each one has their official name and their meaning on the back of them. So people were able to kind of peek around the side of the canvas and read what they mean. And some of them, for some of us, may look familiar. They are actually sometimes used as braid or scalp patterns in the hair. I know historically they were used to either have different messages or different signals in them. They turn into a mass media fashion statement. And so I wanted to kind of put another piece of the historical factor into the monument that came from an African source to kind of mix together the elements of African American culture and African culture. And to top it all off, because I know my outfit is very crazy, I was talking to my advisor and I was telling him I didn't want to just present the piece. I wanted to be a part of the piece. And we were going on and on about what to do. And instantly I thought, why don't I do something wild to my hair? So I literally gave myself a floor length braid and it was dragging behind me the entire time. Now, some people took it as, oh my God, this is very regal, this is very amazing, while other people were literally kind of just pulling at it and tugging at it and kind of swinging it. So it kind of added a little cherry on the top to kind of represent the different types of styles and the different types of meaning that African American, especially women, handle with their hair. So this is definitely my biggest project. I hope to do another project like this soon, but I have transitioned a little bit after this point. Now, grad school, we were all about the animation. We were all about the digital art. And so the main thing I realized joining in and getting straight to learning animation was that I didn't really know how to draw digitally. You know, you go from 2D on a piece of paper, a pen, and a pencil, but then you realize that doesn't quite transition into drawing on a computer. And so immediately once I started grad school at DePaul, I got me an iPad, a tablet, and I just started playing with different mediums and softwares and coming up with my own style of art digitally. And most of the time, I am drawing either fan art or art that represents Black women in different strange settings, but in a more creative, colorful way. And I always try to show them in a much more uplifting way. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am definitely one of a very big lover of color. There are hardly times where I would do black and white photos these days. I am more so just always trying to find a way to figure out what color works best in what way. And this is a big shout out to Roger, because there was a time in our humanities class when we were talking about, I can't remember which book we were talking about, but we were having a topic on color. And I remember Roger was walking around and he was saying, what color choices do you feel go well together, match well together? You know, and some people said green and pink, or black and white, or blue and purple. But I remember when he got to me, I literally asked him, I said, isn't it possible that all colors can go together? It just depends on what mood and what feeling they're trying to bring off together. Because if you look at the world, there is not just one color mixed with another. You see all colors all the time. And they seem to work out perfectly fine for us on a day-to-day basis. And I remember Roger being like, that is a great point. You got it. You understand the question that I was asking. And so ever since then, I've always noticed that I am always constantly doing different, unique things with color, even to the way I dress every day. I could wear a blue type of lipstick, but then have on a purple dress or white shoes, and just try to mix all those colors together as weirdly beautiful as possible. And so I always try, and even to this day, especially in my digital art, to try and play with color. I am always thinking, oh, I need a little bit more color. Let's add a pop of this orange, a pop of this red, and let's bring it together. And so with all these different types of art pieces that I made throughout owning throughout, Allegheny throughout, DePaul, it led me to figure out what I needed to do in order to solidify myself as an artist. So the next thing I wanted to show you guys, and I'm hoping that this video will work, is just the process of how everything comes together digitally, because it is a little different to think about. Different artists do it in different ways, but I always start with the sketch. The sketch is the main thing that focuses your eye on where you need to have your placements. And I know in graphite charcoal work, my professor would say, no, Halie, that's not the case. Just put your marks down. If you make a mistake, go on top of it. But the easy and wonderful thing about digital art is that I can erase it, retract it, reverse it, invert it to kind of make it easier to either fix a mistake or hide a mistake. And so I kind of, and I know this video is a little long, I kind of just wanted to show you guys what a basic relapse of my thought process goes. I always start with the face. The face is always the focal point for my pieces. So the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the expression of the eyebrows, the complexity, the depth, the shape. And from that moment, once I know the face is good, everything else will be fine. So I always put in the hair, put in the clothing, and then I add the highlights and different forms of glitter. A lot of my pieces have some type of shiny or glitter element to them, as well as trying to figure out what colors need to go where. And I'm always changing different references. This actual Megan Thee Stallion photo that I have on Relapse was ordered from a friend of mine. She just said, I want you to draw a picture of Megan so that I can hang it up in my house. So this was definitely something fun. And she gave me the reference photo she wanted, and I kind of just went at that point. So this was just a quick way for me to show you guys step-by-step process when I'm working digitally. Let me see here. So next, I want to go through my portfolio. Now I have a couple of fun videos to show you all. They're all work that I did in grad school, so I am very embarrassed to share them, but I will do so just so that you guys can see the different things that you learn when you're studying animation. Let's see here. So this piece here is actually a stop motion. It's a puppet animation. So each piece of the horse, the background that you see, is an individual cutout of this type of paper that is used for watercolor art. It's a little thicker. And so with stop motion, you literally have to take a picture of every single movement, every time you move the hair, the feet, the body, the head, the background. It's all the picture moving slightly. And so this was one of the very first puppet animations I was able to do. I can tell a lot of things are wrong with it, but for starters, I think that's pretty good to start with. Let's see here. Okay, so this piece here, it's a little bit quirky. It's more so a project that we had to focus on sound. We had to make a conversation between two people, mix a whole bunch of different mediums together, and try to see if there can have a basic conversation. So I'm going to try and play this one for you all. Uh-oh, not the internet. Okay. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, so that one is definitely a really quirky one. It was basically just about two friends having a conversation with each other, whether it was through Zoom or FaceTime. They both get a little reminder, oh, it's time for me to go back to the real world, and them closing their conversation and going about their day. And so this piece in particular, and I'm going to play it again, but take the sound out, was more so, I want to say, four different elements. So you have your pixelation, you have your normal stop motion, you have your live action, and you have your 2D animation. And so basically all four of these different types of animations put together were used by doing shot by shot images. So they weren't filmed, like we didn't record this through a video. These are all pictures put together to make it look like they're moving smoothly. It just takes time to figure out the timing of the frames, how to overlap everything together and kind of make it move as if it's just one video. So that one was always one of my favorites. Now looking at it being out of school, there's a lot wrong with it, but it's definitely one for the books. Let's see. Okay, now the next section that I'm going to show you guys would be some 3D animation. This one was a voice project. I had to create a world from this voice scene from a movie, Coming to America. I don't know if you guys know the movie. Some of you probably do. You'll probably recognize the voices, but it was just a way for me to create a 3D space and to have an interaction between two people.
Are you saying that no matter what I tell you to do, you will do?
Yes, Your Highness.
Bark like a dog. A big dog.
So that one was very silly. That one is mostly just using Maya or Cinema 4D to create the 3D spaces. We had to create the puppets, move their heads, move their facial expressions, shape the world that they're in. This one I can say probably took about 2 to 3 months. In the animation world, you really don't expect time to stretch out that far, but it definitely took a couple months to complete that one. Now, the next one that I have for you guys is one of my favorites, most definitely. This one was a play on sound. So each piece inside of this composition is moving to a different segment of the sound. And you guys probably will recognize the music. It is Careless Whisper, and it is one of the most technically sound pieces that I was able to do. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. So that one is definitely more playful, more flowy. It matches the music a little bit better. It also has Cinema 4D and Maya. If you are ever wondering what programs that they use mostly in the animation world, it is definitely Cinema 4D and Maya. Everywhere you go, film, television, news, sports, they always use Cinema 4D and Maya. And so for this piece, I was able to take basic shapes in mostly Cinema 4D. I attached them to her different joints, her wrists, her hips, her ankles, her head movements, and I was able to animate her to the music and the sounds of Careless Whisper and kind of have it all flowy together. Okay, and for this one, this was actually my 2D animation final project, and this was a collaboration with one of my classmates, we had to create and design an entire short film project. It's not quite a film, it's a little shorter than a film, but we still called it a short film project. And so the story is a little interesting now that I'm older and re-watching all of these videos, but we basically wanted to show the journey of a penny. And this penny becomes a special penny because it is thrown into a wishing well by a kid who wants to give back to someone in an helpful way. So this kind of just talks about the journey and what it looks like inside the well, you know, the difference between good coins, good wishes, bad wishes. And this penny has a special wish that takes him through a magical door that allows him to be a part of that final give back. Okay, so that one, the story was a little wonky when we were making it, but I can definitely say with the year that it took us to do this one, we really put a lot of effort into this piece. So this one is all 2D animation. We hand drew every element. We had to do the sound check, the storyboarding, the compiling everything together. We had to have it above a certain time frame, a certain length. And so every detail is just as clean cut as we got it. I know I can see it now and look at a lot of technical issues, but this was definitely one of the biggest projects I did in grad school. Okay, so I'm going to shift a little bit to talk about how all of these things happening, me going to art school, doing all these cool projects, actually ended up with me creating my own small business. And so I remember there was a time, my mom, love her to death. She loves all of the artwork I do. Every time I create a new piece, she's like, oh, I need that printed, or oh, I need that on a t-shirt, or oh, I need that on a bag. And my mom is a very big makeup connoisseur. She will buy a lot of makeup and she'll just collect it. I usually steal it from her, but it's basically shopping in my mom's closet. And so one day she was talking to me and she said, it would be really cool if you could make me a cosmetic bag. And I said, that's an interesting concept. And when I was researching, I learned about something called print on demand. Print on demand is basically different websites online that have these different types of products, whether a computer case, a phone case, a bag, a wallet, a t-shirt, shoes, whatever you can think of. They offer and they have it as a blank slate. And with a little bit of tweaking of your artwork, whether it's resizing, cleaning it up, enhancing it, you can add it to these different products and you can add them to your own website. And so for me, by the way, these two pictures that you see are the very first pictures I took for my very first samples in 2019. So a big thank you to my friend Asia that you see. I started selling on Etsy and Redbubble in order to figure out if this is something that I was able to do. You know, I was in school when this happened. I was in grad school. I didn't really have the space to hold inventory or the time to really organize every single step of owning a small business, but doing print on demand really does support you in a way that you would never guess. Once you design the product digitally, they are able to create it based off of your orders. They'll make it and then they'll ship it to your customer as well, while also giving them tracking, giving them updates, emails, text messages. So it made it easier for me to just work on everything creatively because I am a one-woman show. So my business runs the way I need it to run. I do the marketing, I do the social media, I do the artwork designs, the posting, the sales, anything you think of. And so I always recommend looking into print on demand if you're someone who is very creative and who has an eye for fashion or style or different accessories. It's a very great way to start. I definitely do hope to branch out farther and bigger once the time comes to create this brand into something much bigger than it is now. And the company is named Boom Boom. And it's because the nickname my mother gave me. She always will, hi Boom, or hi Boom Boom, how are you today? And so I know a lot of people when they say Boom Boom, what is that about? It's literally just the nickname my mom gave me. So I've always, I blame her. I have a small business because of my mom. So I'm definitely gonna add her name in it in some type of way. So I wanted to go over what it looks like to have a website. And I wanted to just show you guys really quick what mine looks like in particular. It's always really important to research. You could have a print on demand company, but decide to do inventory at home where you do bulk orders, send it to the house, and then you do your own packaging and ship it out. Or you might decide, I don't even want to use print on demand companies. I just want to sell this tea I'm making or art prints that I can make from home. It's always better to research the type of websites that are out there and that are easier for your needs that you have. And so my website in particular is made from Shopify. It's a website that you're able to connect with different print-on-demand companies. So I use 3. I use Printify, Guten, and Printful. And each one of them, I have been able to create my own artwork and add them to the different hoodies, t-shirts. I'm getting ready to release some shoes very soon that I just got a sample order in. That's very amazing. I've been able to do collaborative products and projects. So this Selena is actually a classmate from undergrad from Allegheny. She's a very amazing watercolor artist. And just being able to run my store in a way where it basically runs itself almost. And when you're doing these products, there is a type of template they have where they also help you give further information. You know, this t-shirt is made from this material, it's this length, you have these options, this is how long we'll have it in stock. They are able to help you really make your business official and thorough. So I definitely, if anybody ever wants to learn more about this, I would definitely love to help you create your own brand and to do your own thing. That's another thing I do on the side with my commission work. If someone says, oh, I have an idea, I want to have a makeup company, I definitely help them research and figure out what style of company is best for them.
Excuse me,
See
Halie.
here.
Halie, we're going to need to wrap it up in just the next few minutes so that we have time for questions from the audience.
All righty.
Thank you.
Let's see here. I'm definitely going to skip ahead a little bit. This is just a couple of commissions I've done, just people asking me, oh, I need a logo for my small business. I need a logo for my company, for community projects, podcasts, stage art. I've done a couple of stage art pieces for a local musician here in Detroit, small businesses, fellow colleagues, just anything that they ask me to do for social media or for anything digital. I try my best to provide to them a service that better creates a design for their needs. Same thing, creating different pieces for specific companies in mind. So for these two companies, I'm the only artist they have. So I design their logo work, their social media, their clothing, things of that nature. Okay. And then really quickly, I'm just going to go over what I do as a career coach. So this is something relatively new. I've been doing this for about a year. Basically, I work for a company in Detroit called Detroit at Work. We are here to establish employment support, educational support. I help facilitate the GED program at my center. We do have 9 center locations where I help anyone 18 and older get their GED, help them get better employment and to follow their next goals, basically. So that's something that I do to give back to my community being back home. So I definitely try to dabble a little bit with helping my community as well. And then these are just a couple of special events that has happened to me. Allegheny has bought some of my art pieces for their archives. So they own them, they post them around the campus whenever they feel the need. I've had a couple of interviews in magazines with them just finding my art on social media. I have done production assistant work with them also discovering my art on social media. The biggest thing I did was work for TV1 for an unsung episode on the Jones Girls. I don't know how many of you know the Jones Girls, but they're a really big singing group in Detroit. This was really amazing because they put my name in the credits on the TV and I literally spazzed because I didn't know production assistants got the credits for that. So that was definitely something unique. And that is basically it, just a little bit of everything that I do. So during the day, I'm a career coach. I give back to my community, learn that from Oni, learn that the best way. And then at night, I come home, I work on commissions for different people who want to start businesses or handle anything through their social media or just random art. And then I also work on having my own small business. So I want to thank you guys so much for paying attention to my rant on my crazy art career. Thank you.
Halie, thank you so much for sharing all of this. Now we are ready to entertain some questions from our audience, both from alumni and friends who are watching from afar, as well as our students in various locations in the school. If you're ready to stop screen sharing, we can have the whole Zoom pile of squares so we can see each other and if you have a question, please raise your hand virtually or in the picture. Okay, I see Alex has a question.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Haley. It's so nice to see you. I guess the question I wanted to ask is, as an artist, where do you find your inspiration when you're in the process of creating?
Oh, great question. Love Alex. She was there when I was there. So this is amazing. You look great. So a lot of my inspiration just comes from everyday life. And I know that's so corny to say, but it's literally just based off of what's going on. If I'm watching the news and something stresses me out and I'm like, I don't really know how to speak about that. Let me see what my magic hands can come up with. Or if I'm just like, I don't really understand my feelings today. Let me try and put them in a way that my tablet can make something amazing happen. It's literally just anything that's going on, anything I see, anything I experience, even good food. I'm a foodie. So if I go to a restaurant and I see awesome strawberry shake and I get one and it tastes good, I'm gonna have to draw about it. And that's literally how that one piece of the Black woman with lemons in her hair, I had this really amazing lemonade somewhere. It was like a summer or two ago, and I had to just draw about it.
Thank you, Haley. Thanks for the question. One of our alumni raised a hand for a minute. Can you do it again? Heather, can you unmute and speak your question, please?
Yes, thank you. Haley, I really enjoyed seeing your creative efforts there. That was a delight. I'm wondering if a student or an adult was interested in doing some digital art or graphic design, but had no formal training, do you think it would be an accessible form of art to try to learn, from various sources? Do you have recommendations of sources? If so, and what software would you recommend a beginner start with?
Oh, yes, I get asked this question all the time. So definitely, yes, you are able to learn art at any form, any stage that you are, whether you've scribbled a little bit in class or just never picked up a pencil. I always recommend, if you want to do digital art, to use this application called Procreate. It's actually really a simple digital software that you can use. It's compatible for Apple. So I do guess if you need an alternative, I would say Adobe Draw or Gesso, which is used through Adobe Creative Suite. But Procreate, they even just added an animation feature where you can learn how to animate step by step. They have great tutorials. They have how-tos on shading or how-tos on measuring, I don't know, an eye or a hand or a face. Those would be my top 3 best starters for anyone. I started with Procreate, and it's still, after trying so many other drawing softwares, it's still my go-to, most definitely.
Thank you, Haley. Thanks, Heather, for the question. I see a raised hand from Phineas, and then I'd like to open it up for some of our students to raise your digital hand and unmute after Phineas.
Oh, sorry. It's actually Tepo here with Phineas. So basically, my question was about your Shopify. So years ago, not years ago, basically 2020, I think. I started my own small business on Shopify that I wanted to do basically e-commerce. And my main problem that I had was like finding a niche, where people would actually come to the store and buy from the store. I used different ways to market for the business. I used Facebook, Instagram, and all of that, and YouTube as well. Like I made a video, and yeah, the only thing I wanted to ask mainly is like, how did you figure out how to get by that point of not getting customers to your website?
That's a great question because it does take a while, right? You know, we expect when we first make our business that everything is going to be going really great. You got a lot of supporters saying, oh, yeah, do that business. But then once you fully establish it, the sales aren't coming in, right? So for myself, I also have a Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, where I'm constantly posting every day. But I also found a way to get my friends involved. I have a lot of friends that either have media influence or they have a lot of other friends that have media influence. And what I would do is I would sometimes send them products. And when I send them those products, I ask them to take pictures, take them at school, take them in certain areas, take them with family and post them. Because the more other people see other people buying your things, that's when they actually want to come in and support in a better way. So I would say consistently keep up with posting on social media because that's definitely a great asset, whether it's bringing clients in or bringing collaborators in with you, but also try to get your loved ones involved. I know it may sound corny to have your mom posing in your hoodie or in your t-shirt, but mine does it all the time. And I could definitely say it gets a lot of her friends to my shop as well. I've had a lot of, oh, I went to school with your mom and I saw her posing in your hoodie and I want to buy it because I want to support you. So I would definitely suggest getting your loved ones involved. That will really make a difference.
Thanks, Halie, and thanks, Seppo, for that question. Seppo is a senior this year from South Africa.
Okay.
Do we have another student question? If you can raise your hand and introduce yourself. Okay, we really just have another minute or two. So any questions from anyone in the audience now? We're going to open it up. Thank you all for coming this evening, and thank you so much, Halie. This has been really interesting, and we are so glad that you were able to connect with our community, and we hope that all of you stay connected with Only Friends. And the video of this presentation will be available in a few days on YouTube if you or someone you know missed it, or if you want a chance to go back and revisit some of those animated videos. So again, thank you. Anything else, Halie?
Just happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I hope you guys are celebrating this weekend. Have a great time. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I hope to visit Only very soon because I miss you guys a lot, okay? Especially during Pumpkin Fest season because I need pumpkin bread. I'm just saying.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Everybody, let's give a silent round. Once more, thanks for joining us and have a good night.